All systems go. Cleared for takeoff.
What is going on, everybody? Happy Thursday. I'm here with my man, Gyiraszin. I'm Title Town, of course. We're talking baseball. 6 games today, so not 11 like yesterday. Some early baseball going on. Sweating it out. Some early golf going on as well. Hope everybody has a good start there. But 6 games today. Pitching, man, it's interesting. The chalk right now is in a weather concern as a game. So we're going to have to be locked in tonight. Bats, there's a lot of good bats on this slate is how I see it. Before I throw it over to Gyiraszin, though, this show and all shows going forward is sponsored by Drafters. We do have a promo code for you. It is SHIPIT. Gets you 100% matching deposit from $20 up to $100. Today, Marley and I did a live draft on Drafters, and we'll be doing that every single week, breaking down strategy. And if you have any questions in the best ball world, you can get in the Discord. Gyiraszin flashing his big Benjamin over there. What's going on, my man?
Not too much. I'm telling you here. You come to SHIPIT Nation, we get you a free $100 over there at Drafters. So Get yourself on in there. I mean, I have to double check. I don't even know if that's legal here in Michigan. I know
it is. I looked. I think unless I saw it wrong, everywhere in the U.S. I know Underdog's not legal.
Yeah, Underdog. We got booted from Underdog. That kind of sucked because I like kind of just being different once in a while, but. Yeah, Title, that's pretty cool that we got that going on. That's a lot of fun. Hey, I mean, the master himself, everybody. I mean, he's the shipper. He won the $250K right there. There's the man right there. If you want to know, I never know anybody that won the big money shit. Well, here he is sitting right here, right next to me on the screen. So, yeah, I thought that was pretty damn cool when you shipped that. I know the last couple of weeks there we were following you along, and it was fun rooting you in the across the finish line. So it's always good to see your buddies and good friends win some cash. So that, I mean, especially to take down something like that, that's fabulous.
I appreciate that. We're looking to run it back over here at SHIPIT Nation. Doesn't have to be me. I'll take the back-to-back. I definitely won't complain, but someone here at RPS, and like he showed that Chris Benjamin, $100. They do Drafters give you that $100 for free to throw into drafts. Who did you got in chat before? Gyirazin's got some story for us. I told him he was starting to get into it and he cut me off. So we're going to get back to Gyiraszin for that, but really cool. Sean V said, went to the park in my neighborhood for a job a couple ago. Kershaw was there with his wife and kids. That is pretty cool, man. Cool. Seeing Kershaw, that is pretty cool. They played tonight too. No Kershaw on the mound, but pretty cool stuff there, Sean V. Brian England in here, Mike Carr, Bump, all you guys in here like usual supporting us. We really do appreciate it. Richie Smalls, what's going on, Trevor Bryan? There's no lab here today for you, Trevor Bryan, so you won't be hearing that in the background. Mike Carr's in here. Sean V, yes, sir. UFC Saturday tomorrow. Very pumped for that. Gator Nation in here as well. Bill B, we got Roddy in chat as well. What's going on? All we ask from you on this show, like button, big subscribe button right next to us. Helps us out a ton. Takes 2 seconds out of your day. We're looking to hit 2,000 subscribers. Junior in here as well. Great to see you, Junior. Gyiraszin. I need this story because Gyiraszin was in his camper. If you checked it out, I think it was last Thursday. We were rolling. We were having a great time. Hamwich came on the show too. In Michigan, 4th of July, it's always a fun weekend up there. Gyiraszin can pound some drinks. There's no doubt about that. Gyiraszin was getting into the story about pounding some drinks, and I was like, Gyiraszin, I need to hear this for the main show. Take it away.
Yeah, so everybody, I mean, I pretty much just usually drink Modelo's, might drink some Screwball, peanut butter whiskey. I like me some Screwball. You know, I like my safety meetings. You know, it's pretty simple. It's about the way it goes. Now, if I don't have Modelo's, I'll generally switch to, you know, generally other Mexican beers, whatever else. So this weekend, I decided I'm going to give the high noons a roll with some neutrals, and which are kind of the same thing. I had some neutrals at a local festival here, and I thought I'll try it out. They had the pineapple ones. So I bought 5 4-packs. So that was 20 of those pineapple neutrals. And then I bought a 12-pack of high noons. So that was 32. I was the only one drinking them. Entitled from like 2 in the afternoon till about 11 at night. I woke up with 4 left. and I didn't even realize. So the next morning I was feeling a little shitty. I was like, man, I don't know how many of them I drank. And the fiance looks in the fridge. She's like, dude, there's 4 left. What the hell is wrong with you, man?
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, but the thing is I woke up in the camper, right? And the old joke, what do you do if you wake up, and you're fucking naked in the camper? Like, you want to go camping joke, that old joke.
Yeah.
Well, shit, Title, I woke up that morning and I had a shirt on, but I didn't have no pants on. Now, there was 2 females in my camper. So I was like thinking, what the hell? What happened? Did I miss a good time? Like, fuck happened? So I said to myself, uh-oh. And I said, did I do anything stupid last night? And she's like, no. I said, well, how come I don't got any drawers on? She said, I don't know. You must have just came into bed and dropped and went to bed. I was like, whew. Good thing I didn't do nothing stupid, because who knows? I could have been running around the campsite. I don't even know, man. Like, who knows, Title? You know me. I get going. I'm the one you could dare to jump into the freaking, fountain naked. I'd be the dumbass to do it. Like, that's just me, especially if I've been drinking all day. But it was a good time, though, Title. And then it rained like freaking nuts, man. Like, it rained like for an hour. Like, we got so much rain, my campsite was floating. It was freaking crazy.
Sounds like a good time. It
was a good time, but I can't do them high noons or neutrals, because they go on like Kool-Aid, man. And
next thing you know, because the percentage is higher than the Modelo's too. Next thing you know, you got no pants on, don't know what's going on. And then I can guarantee there was more things going on than just some high noons rolling too, some other substances.
Oh yeah, I ate like 100 milligrams of gummies. I was drinking screwball shots. We made what's some other shots? It's got green tea. That's what they're called. We were drinking green tea shots.
You got to get
Mr.
Hoop
pitcher all over the floor, man. Oh man, I'm telling you, it was a disaster, Title. But hey, it was a good time. I just like getting out there having fun. There's all kinds of good people around, and everybody gets to know me after a while, because I'm usually the loud one.
You got to get Hoop at the camper with Gyiraszin. I think Hoop would have a good time. You would drink him under the table, no doubt about that, just like you drink me under the table. But got to get Hoop to that camper right there. A lot of people love it.
Hoop's not far from my campsite, but I'll tell you, it's cool. It's a camp RV resort. Like, you can't just go there and camp. You got to have an RV, and you got to have a membership. So it's like all high end people. Like, I got a pretty nice setup, probably all together is like $100K, and mine's like in the middle to the bottom of the setups everybody has. It's like some of these dudes as campers, it's freaking sick, man. It's like marble floors, and like, what the hell is going on around? You guys all selling cocaine or what? Like, how is this happening?
Hey, after you ship the drafters this year, you're going to be rocking the same thing just with them.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. But anybody in Michigan, campsite I go to is called Waldenwood. So it's a good old time out there. Enjoy it. The people out there in the cornhole streets were lucky I didn't get in the tournament. I let them win. I didn't have enough time to sit there all day. So, but I knew, hey, it's like going to a poker tournament. I'm not getting how long is this shit going to take me? Like 2 days? Okay. Then I'm in if I got 2 days. If not, why even get in, Title, right?
No, I agree with you. You got to be sitting around. You don't got time for that. There's too many other substances to be taken down besides sitting playing cornhole all day. People are loving the story. Gyiraszin just said, Al said he's in Macomb. Gyiraszin just said where he was. JB's in here. Jacob Stubbs in here. Jake's in there. They're all loving the Gyiraszin story. Yeah, he definitely avoided a big problem there. The fiance, the pants came off, but he did.
It was her best friend too. I was thinking, I don't think I'm that lucky. I woke up in the morning and go, I'm not that lucky. Am I? Did that happen? No, that didn't happen. I'm not that lucky.
Hey, a couple days later, you're probably happy it didn't happen.
In my mind, I can visualize that happened. It'd be more fun for me, but I just can't. I can't say it out loud. I might get smacked at dinner time.
Yeah, you definitely will. Hopefully she's not in your house right now. On that note, we're going to talk some baseball, though. We got 6 games on this slate. I could talk stories with Gyiraszin all day. Not as good as stories over here, that's for sure. I can't take down 28 high noons. No chance for that. But we got 6 games today, Gyiraszin. Like I said, man, pitching is the one game. Cleveland Guardians, Kansas City Royals is the weather game today. And Tanner Bibby looks to be the chalk of all chalk on both sites. Outside of him, there's some pretty big names, but a lot of names in tough matchups. George Kirby, Nathan Eovaldi. They're expensive, though. They are in tough matchups. Then we look down a little bit. I think Bradish is going to get some ownership. Gyiraszin, I'll go to you first. You can talk pitching. Let's go 8 points. We'll go 8.7K. So we'll go Bibby and above to start on DK. I know you play mainly FanDuel too, but we need 2 pitchers on DK, 1 on FanDuel. We'll assume the Bibby game, Cleveland and KC goes, but we'll give enough options in case it doesn't, because it does look like a real chance of a delay, maybe a postponement again. We're no weathermen here. Follow weathermen in the industry. We'll talk about it in Discord too. But Gyiraszin, 8.7K, Tanner Bibby all the way up to Nathan Eovaldi, 10K, Eovaldi, Kirby, Julio Urias, Tanner Bibby. Talk about that range.
Yeah, I mean, that definitely, we're going to have to watch the weather. That's for damn sure. So Bibby is, for me, is a guy looking at, really, I had it narrowed down to 3. I like Bibby today, Kirby, and I like me some Bradish. Cutter Crawford, I thought about. I just don't like the way he's been mad. I don't like his recent, stats here. He just hasn't been who I think he should be. I think he has a good upside eventually here, but I just don't think he's got it there yet. But Kirby's definitely, I think at this point, because of the weather, I think Kirby's the guy I'd be leaning to at this point. Kirby's been doing pretty well. I mean, he's got 21% K percentage, very low walk, so he doesn't beat himself. I mean, the Astros do have some Ks in that lineup, so just kind of looking here, especially against the righties, I just wanted to see. I think it's the bottom half, yeah, from what I remember right. So you got Abreu at 4 is at 24%. Now, keep in mind the average strikeout rate is 23%. So really, you're sitting at Abreu at 4. Everybody else from 6 on down is almost at 30% strikeout rate against righties. So the bottom half of this lineup's got a lot of strikeouts in it. So I think there's some upside there. I mean, you're looking against righties, McCormick's at 25, Pena's almost 27, Jolk's almost 25, Maldonado's 30%. So just because of that, I think the upside's there for Kirby. Bibby obviously getting Kansas City. That's something that, I think both are in a pretty good spot. But I'll tell you, Kyle Bradish for me has just been a guy who's been doing it for me the last couple starts. You look at his, he hasn't been owned. He's been like mid 8,000s on FanDuel here. I mean, he's 8,500 now. I mean, you look at his game logs, 46, 40, 46, 39, 25, 36. We're talking about a guy who's 8,500 in his last 4 out of 5 starts. He's pretty much got you 40 points. That's what I need. So Brad and the Yankees, without Judge, as we know, just haven't been the Yankees. So I do definitely like the matchup here. But I just think Kirby is a better pitcher, better spot. He's got a little bit more strikeouts there. I think I like both. I like both of these guys, but Bibby's interesting too. But I'm almost in my mind thinking that game's in some serious danger. So I think I'm gonna right now I'm almost canceling that one out. But we'll see if it goes. But you got to be prepared for it not to be, because I think that's more the better chance. But I definitely like those 2 guys. Now, some of these other guys, that are mixed up in there, you look at Eovaldi against the White Sox or Red Sox. I just haven't been attacking the Red Sox. They just don't strike out as much. So, that just isn't interesting really that much for me. I don't like the matchup. Urias against the Pirates, sure, 22% K rate. I just think there's better matchups. Severino, I can't do it. Cutter Crawford, I thought, maybe, but I just don't like that matchup against the Rangers. So really, to me, there's only a couple guys in play. Like I said, I had it narrowed down to 3, but I think right now Kirby and Bradish stand out for me.
No, I definitely like Kyle Bradish. If you look on DK, his price. First of all, I agree with you about Bibby. If the game is fine, he's going to be chalk. But that game definitely looks concerning. He has the highest K prop on the board. There's extreme hitters umpire behind the dish, but Bradish 7.2K. I don't love playing pitchers in Yankee Stadium. It is going to be warm. It's warm across the whole country, though. We do have the Dodgers game. It is not going to be. It's only 70 in LA. So I'm going to get back to you on Julio Urias making a second start back. Pitt did get to him though, like last month, 2 months ago. Worried about the pitch count a little bit, especially at 9.4K. But this is one of the slates. Like, you give me 16 at pitcher, I'll move on and take it. Again, I think bats are winning the slate. I said that yesterday. Bats, I mean, the Reds, I guess, got there. The Braves a little bit, but no one really put up too much of a crooked number. And Pablo Lopez, you needed him to win. But yeah, on this slate, give me 16 at pitcher. I'll get back to you on Urias. I definitely agree with the George Kirby, though. 8 righties in that lineup. Kirby much better against righties. Doesn't walk anybody. The upside, again, I don't love the upside against the Astros team. I mean, only a 4.5K prop for the price. But, again, give me safety on this slate more than upside. Bibby definitely has the most upside with his K prop. Again, I don't know about that game. Bradish point per dollar, definitely my favorite, 7.2K. And, man, he has been good as of late. This lineup's way worse without Judge. 20-plus in 3 of his last 4 starts, 7, 8, 10 Ks. Sign me up for Bradish. He definitely has found something it looks like. Severino, yeah, I don't know. The K prop's okay for the price. I'm worried a little bit about the pitch count for him. Cutter Crawford, I'm also worried about the pitch count. I'm not going to target Texas in a warm Fenway right there. Julio Urias, Evaldi would definitely be in my pool because I think people will go more Kirby over Evaldi. People are either going to go Bibby if the game plays. Otherwise, Bradish, I think, will be the most popular right there. Maybe some people get a little scared about Evaldi's price tag, about the matchup. Definitely makes sense to me. He is the only guy with the pitcher's ump behind the dish, too. Sean V brought up a point, too. First game against his former team. He's going to get up for this one. Again, that could work both ways. I don't usually look at narrative stuff like that. But on a pitching slate that is struggling, Evaldi's been good this year. Again, he doesn't walk many guys at all, too. More safety, but pitcher's ump behind the dish. I think he goes a little lower owned. There's only so many guys he can play. Like,
I think he'll be half the ownership title that these other guys. So it's a great pivot.
Yeah, for sure. And then Shannon saying Kramer with 10 Ks, the Yankees suck. Yeah, shout out to you, Jake. You mentioned Dean Kramer yesterday. If Dean Kramer's doing that, Kyle Bradish definitely can do that. He's my favorite. Again, I'm scared, though, that everyone just from Bibby is going to go right to Bradish. And he would be used as an SP2, even if that game does play. But Bradish is my favorite for sure. Probably Evaldi over Kirby. Now that I'm thinking about it, if he is going to be half the ownership, which I definitely can see, probably will slightly lean Evaldi in tournaments, but it'd be Kirby, Evaldi, Bradish. Talk about Urias, though, for me, because, man, I don't love picking on this Pittsburgh team. Extreme hitters umpire behind the dish. Who knows what Urias's leash is going to be? Again, this is his second start coming off the IL. The last one gets the Royals, 3 innings, -5 DK points. Absolutely got shelled. Wasn't looking good prior to the IL stint either. This Pittsburgh team, they did see him, what was it? April, I had to do math on my finger, whatever 4 is, April 27th. He pitched in Pitt, got hit around. I remember he was chalk on that early slate. I don't know, man. I don't think Urias. I'd rather go Kirby. I'd rather go Evaldi or just drop down. But I think ownership, he will probably come in 5th highest, 6th highest maybe. Touch on him a little bit and wrap up pitching.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that at all. I mean, you can make a case he's got a good win equity, them being -220 some favorites. So, I mean, you can look at that. But I mean, does he even go 5 innings? I mean, that's a good question. Like, in my opinion, I don't think he does. So to me, especially on like FanDuel, where I'm usually wanting to make sure I try to get at least 5 innings out of a pitcher, I don't really want a guy at all that's not going to go 5 because I need the win. Quality starts definitely, a bonus. But yeah, Urias coming back only doing 3. It's just too scary for me. I mean, if you want to go there and you're MMEing, great. But if you're only playing a handful of teams, which I just kind of was like looking around, and I research stuff that goes on in the industry and look at people's, articles about different things. And it seems like the MMEing is kind of dying off and not too many people do it as much as it used to be. So it's like, we mentioned MMEing, but I just find most people play, a handful of teams anymore. So, for me to just say MME, when I say that, that means I don't like the guy. But if you want to play him, I can see why, but that means I just don't care for him. I'm not playing him in my short, little 2 or 3 teams or one team. Generally, I'll play one team, and I'm heavy on one team. I'll put it in a $300 queue and play it in the 222 or the 100 or whatever, and maybe play a few other teams in the $66 to see if because there ain't nothing more frustrating when I think I'm on a slate and then I hit it, but I just miss a little bit, and then you don't. So sometimes I try to build around it. So in case I do miss, I got other shots at other places. So, or I'll hedge if I don't like a pitcher, or maybe I think a pitcher could get blown up as well as he could, get me to where I want to be. So, I've said it before. I like to hedge sometimes on a third team, but
you only got 3 pitchers really in the
pretty
pool?
Short. The pitching's short for me today, buddy. I mean, it's pretty simple. And hey, that's okay. I mean, don't try to overthink yourself and try to be different, because that's just not going to, it's going to get you in more trouble than it ever works out for you. Try to be different somewhere else. That's it. Like, don't worry about the ownership on the pitchers if it stresses you out and you're taking too big of a chance on something else. I don't, that's not my way of doing it.
For sure. So I got one other name for you. So Houston, it looks like, what is this Ronel Blanco guy? Earlier in the day, they didn't announce a starter. I think he looks to be getting the nod. I mean, what are your thoughts on him on DK? He's cheap, 6.8K. Look at it. I mean, I want 13, 12 when you're talking for my pitchers. Right in that range. Cutter Crawford, 6'4". I'm not playing Cutter Crawford. I know that. Severino right above him. I guess maybe. The K-prop's pretty similar. Blanco is a slightly better K-prop, 5.5. Little juice on the over. Like, we're talking Blanco's K-prop at 6.8K. Higher than Evaldi's at 10K. Higher than George Kirby's at 9.6K. This Mariners team does have strikeouts in their lineup. Of course, they do have some power. What are your thoughts on him, Gyiraszin? Probably more of a DK, obviously, than a FanDuel. You want the quality starts. You want the win. I think there's better options on FanDuel. But any thoughts on him to wrap up pitching? Or are you just going to go Bradish, Bibby, and you said Kirby? You're not even saying Evaldi. You said 3 pitchers. So any thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, on DK as SP2, I guess Blanco would be interesting. He does have, you look at his minor league record, he does have some K potential.
Yeah.
I mean, he is coming back up for a spot start. So, when guys are in that kind of situation, he's fighting for his job, right? I mean, I think he's going to be focused. I like situations like this sometimes, even like a guy that comes back, that struggled, and that he's trying to stay on a roster. Like, they lie, cheat, and steal, whatever they got to do, man. That's their livelihood, man. These guys are out there doing it. I mean, that's what's going on now. This Blanco, I've played him before a couple times this season. I know when I've ventured over to DK, I think he pitched, I want to say it was like a couple weeks back. I was just looking at his game log, and I want to say I probably used him against Toronto. It's possible if I
remember. 5 against Toronto. I mean, 6 innings Toronto, 5 against Cincy, 5 against the Angels, 6 against the Dodgers. Like,
if he can get a win, I mean, he gets you a win out of this game, and he gets you 5 or 6 Ks. I mean, he's 6,300 on FanDuel. But see, to me, I don't think the offenses are there where I got to go that low, on a single pitcher. Like, I'm not stacking the Dodgers and Braves tonight, so I don't need to go to 6,300 for a pitcher. Yeah. But on DK as a SP2, yeah, that could definitely be interesting. So Blanco would be interesting for me just because I play so much on FanDuel. I never even really put too much into him. But now Evaldi, as I said, I didn't mention Evaldi. I definitely think he's in play. I just don't like going against the Red Sox. So if I do it and I go against what I normally do, it's like when you play blackjack and you do something you don't normally do and it don't work out, you're pissed at yourself.
Never do that. So, never do that. You just know the book. Never miss that. Mix that one up.
Right. That's why I just don't, I get it. He's not a good enough pitcher for me. I get it's Evaldi's been one of the highest strikeout pitchers, but he's not Spencer Strider. He's not Max Scherzer. He's not DeGrom. He's not one of them dudes. So, I don't think some guys are matchup proof. I don't think Evaldi is. I get it. He's at, who knows? Okay, that's his former team. You're saying that. Great. But now he's at home visiting old buddies. You don't think maybe last night he was out boozing it up a little bit? Maybe he's got a side piece he's been wanting to see there in Boston. He's been hitting some shit all night. Like, you don't know. You just don't know, man. So I don't believe any of that. I think he's got more distractions by going back home than wanting to win. So I think
maybe Gyirasin's putting himself into Evaldi, or Evaldi. He's putting himself, if I was Evaldi, what would I be doing? Yeah, I don't know if Evaldi woke up without pants on like you did, Gyiraszin. But hey, the narrative there, hey, you do whatever. You like Bradish, though. Rank him. What is it? Bradish, Kirby, rank your top 3.
On FanDuel, I'm going to go Bradish, Kirby. I think them are my 2 favorites. And Bibby, I think I'd probably put him. He'd probably be 2, actually. I think I'd have Bradish more just because I don't know. It's fun. It's fun rooting against the Yankees anyway because they're the Yankees.
Yeah, no, and Kramer coming off that start. Yeah, Bradish is one. Definitely monitor the Bibby king, because if it looks like the Roth or whoever you follow does give it somewhat of a green light, people are still going to be worried about it. So ownership would maybe come down a little bit. Definitely do if the game plays Bibby and the K prop against these Royals. I definitely like, but not sure it does. Brad is definitely my favorite at 7.2K regardless. I think, man, the more we talk about it, I wouldn't be surprised to see Kirby come in double the ownership as Evaldi, and I just don't think he double is right. I think maybe if he was like 1.5 times or something like that, I would take the ownership discount, only 400 more, get a pitcher's ump behind the dish too, and a higher K prop. I don't like picking on Boston. It's warm in Fenway, just more of a game theory play and what we're working with on this pitching slate. So I'll go Evaldi 2, Kirby 3, and that Blanco, I think that's really interesting. I like him more than Severino and Cutter Crawford in that range. He's going to be a fourth, a fifth of the ownership as Kyle Bradish right there. I don't mind taking a shot on Blanco at SP2 against the Mariners team that can't strike out some. Again, give me 15. For Blanco, give me 13. There's enough bats to pay up for on this slate. So, yeah, that's how I see pitching. Bobby Gomes in here. What's going on? Gyirasin's the best. Yes, he is. Junior Gyirasin as well. Yeah, if you come on the show and you see Gyirasin's picture with a thumbs up in there, you're going to have a good time and you're going to have some laughs. And that's all you can ask for.
Yeah, you got to have fun in life, man, especially nowadays. This freaking crazy world we live in is unbelievable. So that's why I like to focus on my DFS, keep my head in the sports lane, because when you get outside that, it's freaking nuts. It's like drives yourself crazy. So
yeah, I don't even know what getting outside of that means, Gyiraszin. I don't mess around with any of that stuff either. Talk to these people on YouTube at SHIPIT Nation, good people. Do DFS myself, and yeah, get off of social media and do your thing. But hey, that's enough of that, Gyiraszin. Good stuff. We do ask like button, subscribe button. Awesome work at pitching. Again, monitor that one weather game though, the Royals and the Guardians. Outside of that, there's only a handful of pitchers. Bats though, we're about to get to game by game. I think ownership's pretty spread out when it comes to bats. We'll start with the first game of the night though. Oh, that's a 640 game. Baltimore Orioles, New York Yankees. Kyle Bradish, Luis Severino on the mound. Bradish is he's going to be one of the highest owned pitchers, if not the highest owned, especially with Bibby. The Yankees, if you're talking game theory on a short slate, it is in Yankee Stadium. It is warm. 4 total. I don't think it's the craziest thing on a slate like this, but I definitely like Bradish more than the Yankees. It's more of a game theory if I went that route. As far as these Orioles against Severino, what are your thoughts there, Gyiraszin? I'll throw it to you. You can get some cheap bats in the bottom of the order. Adley, Gunnar up top, Ryan O'Hearn coming off a dinger and a stolen base yesterday. I don't know. I think Baltimore's a little interesting. I don't think they're too highly owned on this slate. What do you got?
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. I'm not interested in any spankies, obviously, like in Bradish. Mr. Stanton just, didn't do shit for me yesterday. He looked like he's lost, man. I'm watching him. He can't even hit a fucking beach ball, that guy right now, I swear. But either way, I think the Orioles are interesting, especially the lefties. He's got such a low K rate, the lefties. I think they're definitely in play here today. So I think that is something that, I'd be looking at. Gunnar, like you mentioned, Rutschman, Santander, Mullins. I think all these guys, O'Hearn. I think it could be definitely interesting. Yankee Stadium, weather's decent. Yeah, and I think as far as ownership goes, Baltimore is going to be kind of down in the middle of the pack, I think, a little bit. So if you wanted to go there, I think that's a way you could definitely be a little bit different. Maybe mini stack it if you want, but I don't mind that at all. I mean, especially the lefties in Yankee Stadium, over there in Yankee Stadium, right? I mean, we got a short porch over there. We got a guy that don't strike anybody out. So, hey, let's fish for a couple homers there. So I don't mind it at all.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, definitely the more I like the Orioles. People aren't really going to get to them today. Yeah, I mean, we'll get to the next game. I think that's where the chalk will go. But, yeah, Baltimore, I think, is going to come under own. I like guaranteed ninth inning at bats. Check. Warm weather. Check. Yankee Stadium. Check. Pretty low ownership on this slate. Check. Decent team total, too, about 4.5. Yeah, sign me up for some of these Baltimore Orioles. I think it's a pretty good way to get different on a small slate that's pretty hard to get different. Of course, they're not going to be 2% or whatever it may be, but on a 6-game slate, they'll be lower than multiple other teams that we get to. So, yeah, the Yankees, game theory-wise, I don't think it's the craziest thing. Orioles, though, I definitely like more. We'll keep it rolling, though. Next game on the slate, Kansas City, the weather game, Kansas City Royals, Cleveland Guardians, Jordan Lyles, Tanner Bibby on the mound, 80 degrees in Cleveland. The Royals beat me. They beat me. They feel like the easiest cross-off on the slate. I'd rather take the game theory approach and go Yankees against Bradish more than I would Royals against Cleveland. And then we talk on the Cleveland side. If this game plays, I think it's more of a concern for pitching. Again, maybe monitor weather. Maybe it is bats and postponement too. But if this game looks good for bats, I think Cleveland will come in 1 or 2 on DK, the chalkiest team on the slate. And I think FanDuel is going to be the same thing due to their prices. Jordan Lyles isn't scary, but man, if you're telling me the Guardians are going to be the chalk or the second chalk on the slate, that's the easy X off for me. So I'll say pass on this game if I'm seeing ownership right. And yeah, I think they're going to be one of the top. So nothing
I'll
for
say
me.
it every time, my friend. If them Indians / Guardians, whatever the hell you want to call them, beat me, then they beat me because they suck. They're the worst power team in all of MLB. So why do you want to play them in a format that's based around power? I every time the optimizer comes up and they pop up and there's like 4 of them in my optimizer, I'm like, who's the smart one here? You not. I must be, because who the hell's going to play 4 Indians tonight? Not me. So, I mean, I don't mind a couple of them. Maybe if you wanted to do some mini stacks like Ramirez, I don't mind. You know, there's only a couple of guys even liking this stinking lineup that can even hit a homer. I mean, Naylor, other guys are going to hit less than 15 bombs all damn season. So I feel like I'm trying. No, man, it's like, no. I mean, how many times in a season, I don't care how many games are on a slate, are the Indians going to be in the winning lineup? I mean, a full stack. I guarantee you it's very, very, very low. It'd be the lowest of all teams. I'm just not doing it. As I keep saying, I love when they show up every day. Take them donkeys with you. They can go that way too. I'm not going that way. DFS is all about figuring out where everybody's going and then how you can beat it. And if everybody's going the Indians route, man, it makes my life a lot easier.
Yeah, I mean, again, maybe they come in as the second chalk. I'm on the cash report as always. I will say they're definitely poppy and optimizers. They're cheap. A lot of the top of the order. Jose Ramirez always grades out well. Jordan Lyles isn't very good. Tournaments, yeah, it's just like, why on this? Give me Baltimore over a chalky Cleveland team any day. And there's a lot of good hitting on this slate. Only 2 teams have a team total less than 4 on this slate, which means runs are going to be scored. Why eat the chalk on a slate like this? Like, yeah, you can always play Jose Ramirez, but why would I want to play Jose Ramirez when he's going to be one of the chalkiest guys as a one-off or a mini stack? You'd rather play him like he was yesterday when he's 1% owned. Everyone's playing Devers and something else. So I think it's the best cross-off game when it comes to bats on the slate. Hopefully we get a green light that bats are good to go. Again, in cash games, yeah, I'm definitely going to have some you're going to get me saying Indians now. I'm going to get me you're going to have some Guardians. Again, cash report. I always play all the sites. You can see core plays on FanDuel, core plays on DK. Right now, the Guardians are in there, but we do have to monitor weather there. Don't love it for tournaments, though. Before I get to the next one, I'm just looking at the behind you, Gyiraszin, up above. Obviously, there's Steve Yzerman. Steve Yzerman. Is that Gordie Howe up there?
Yes, sir.
Gordie Howe.
Yeah, I got to meet Gordie Howe at a local elementary school that my daughter went to, and his granddaughter went there. So the cool thing was they had to do like wax museum little thing where the kids had to like tell a story about who it was. And the grandkid did one about his grandpa and told a story about him. Like you were supposed to push the button like at a museum and you had to like tell your little story about who you were supposed to be. And Gordie Howe came there. And I was smart enough to know Gordie Howe's grandkid was there. And I always had something in the car in case I ran into Gordie Howe. And I ran into Mr. Gordie Howe and he signed it for me. And I was ecstatic. And even how old he was, it was probably about a year or 2 before he passed away. But his damn hand and his handshake, it like made my hand look like it was like Andre the Giant shaking my hand. And he still had a grip. Like, I was like, oh, shit, man. I couldn't imagine that dude in his 20s. He'd probably crack your hand in half. Like that guy was anybody ever says I saw a tweet, who's the toughest hockey player of all time? It's Gordie Howe. I hate to tell everybody. Bob Probert might be number 2, but Gordie Howe, you ask any of them old guys tell stories, they tell you they always knew where Gordie Howe was on the ice because he ripped your damn head off, and they all knew it.
Yeah, that's my dad's favorite player, too. He played some AAA, actually, for Red Wings farm team. He's got Gordie Howe signed picture down below, too. So I figured it was Gordie Howe up there next to Steve Yzerman. Pavel Datsyuk was my guy growing up, though. Nobody has hands like good old Pav.
Oh, yeah. That guy was fun to watch, too, a penalty shot. I used to you'd get out of your seat. It was like Barry Sanders getting the football.
Oh, yeah. No, absolutely. We'll keep it rolling, though. Had to bring up a little hockey talk. Only 6 games on this lady. We appreciate that like button. Appreciate that subscribe button. And if you want all of our stuff at SHIPIT Nation, projections, we got them. Stack rankings, we got them. Hitter rankings, we got them. Pitcher rankings, we got them. Core plays from Hoop, Gyiraszin, Hamwich, Nades, we got that as well. And then Cass, if you play that we got you covered over here as well. If you do join at SHIPIT Nation, make sure you get in the Discord too. Won't find a better deal. MMA as well this week. PGA going down. We got showdown content for that. Best ball. Marley and I just did a show today. We'll be rolling that out every single week. No better value. $59 a month, $599 a year. Join ShipItNation.com. We'd love to have you. Do not think you will regret it one bit. Bobby Gomes agrees with Pavel as well. You love to see that, Bobby Gomes. Let's keep it rolling, though. Next game on the slate, Texas Rangers, Boston Red Sox. Nathan Eovaldi, Cutter Crawford on the mound. We talked a little bit about Cutter Crawford. I mean, the leash I don't love, so I don't want to get to him today. I don't love picking on this Rangers team, but he definitely has stuff. He definitely has K upside. I think it'll keep me away from a lot of these Rangers. I don't know. What are your thoughts there? Maybe you can talk me into some, but don't have as much interest in the Rangers. As far as Boston, I don't think Eovaldi's going to be popular enough to make it a game theory thing by any means, and there's just other pitchers I'd rather target. So lean the Rangers side for me, but other games I like more. What do you got?
I mean, you look at this game, that the underdog in this game has the highest team total, right? So, I mean, 4.8 team total. I mean, you just kind of look at it, and if you think to yourself, if there's any game on this whole slate that I think I'd game stack, it'd be this one. Just because, A, you're going to have a chalkier Eovaldi. If this game goes off, and even in the later part of the game, and, it could be a dud, only a couple runs the first few innings, and it could just take off like a softball game the last half of the game. And if you game stack this one, I think you're going to be in really, really good shape, especially if the Boston side does most of the damage. Now, the weather is decent there. Fenway Park yields the second most runs in all of baseball. I mean, there's a lot going for you there, right? I mean, so, yeah, I thought about doing it yesterday in my qualifying team, and I talked myself out of it as the day went on. But I thought about it yesterday, and I think there was two better pitchers on the mound combined total yesterday than there is today. So I don't mind this at all if you're going to game stack it. I think that's the only way I think I would really fool with this game. In reality, I think there's some other spots I like. I mean, Devers is going to be a top bat just like he was yesterday. I still think you're going to see that, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a good game. If I'm playing anything, like I said, I'm game stacking this one all the way, and that's my play. I'd take Bradish and game stack this thing.
So we got 3 games left, and I won definitely the Mariners, Astros. We'll get there, but they'll be the 2 lowest owned teams on the slate next to the Royals. I don't have much interest there. I don't think you will. So right now, we talked about 3 games: the Rangers, Boston. We just talked about the Guardians game, and then Baltimore Yankees. How would you rank your favorite stacks, your top 3 out of those 3 games?
My favorite one out of those 3,
would it just be the game stack? Would you just say those 2?
I mean, I think Baltimore is really interesting. Against Severino, especially like I said, them lefties. I think that'd be interesting. I think I'd rather have Baltimore than these 2, but I think combined the game stack's interesting because both lineups are decent, 1 through 9. It's a great park. I mean, everything lines up except we just don't like the pitchers, right? Like we don't like Eovaldi. Is it just Eovaldi that we don't want? If it wasn't Eovaldi and it was Cutter Crawford against, some, 5th starter from Texas, I think we'd all be thinking, oh man, we got to be on this game. And then you look at the over-unders. I mean, it's sitting there at a 10. Yeah. So, and I saw juice on the 10 on a couple sites. So, I mean, Vegas literally thinks this is going to be the highest scoring game. So to me, I literally, it's a coin flip for me, who I think would be the top offense in this game. But I think they're both decent. I mean, like I said, the underdog in this game has almost a 5-point team total. It's 4.8. I mean,
yeah.
And that's the only reason why I think it's a decent play.
No, I hear you. You look 6 through 9 on the Red Sox, all below 3K. Highest guy, 4.9K. Like, you're not breaking the bank either. If you wanted to go, well, I mean, you would. If you wanted to go a George Kirby, and if Bibby does play or something like that, or you want to go a secondary stack, people are talking the Dodgers. I love the Dodgers. We'll get there. Like, you can spend up and use the Red Sox as a cheap secondary or a 5-man that doesn't break the bank too. So, yeah, the more you talk about it, like Eovaldi doesn't. There's multiple guys. He has like the 6th highest K prop just because he's the most expensive. I like parks. I like good weather. It all fits there. It's just, yeah, there's other pitchers I'd rather target on this slate, but 5.4 team total for the Rangers, 4.7 for Boston. Yeah, a little more interest than I initially had, but there is another spot later in the night that I do like more. 2 spots, actually, that we'll get to. But next game on the slate, it's not for me. Seattle Mariners, Houston Astros, George Kirby, Ronel Blanco on the mound. I like Kirby. I think Blanco is interesting as well. If these game beats me, it beats me. It's a no for me. What about you?
At this point, it pretty much be a no for me. But I'll tell you, man, JP Crawford's been pretty hot recently. I mean, guy's been hitting pretty well. 10 for 23 in his last 7 days. I mean, his OPS is 1.256. I mean, if I like to look at hot hitters, especially the last 7 days, if you pull it up right now, you can pull it up anywhere, MLB, whatever, and just pull up last 7 days. You'd be surprised some of the names that are on there a lot of times. You can get a lot of these guys really cheap, man. I mean, you want them in when they're in a hot streak, right? So, I mean, JP Crawford's a guy that, you could definitely use. Most people are going to be like, what would they say? Oh, they used Julio Rodriguez. Nobody would even think about putting in a Crawford on their team. So, yeah, I think he's definitely interesting if you're looking for, like maybe a one-off guy if you wanted to go there. Mike Ford's been hitting the ball pretty well too. So, I mean, he's got a little bit of power. But, I mean, other than that, really, Title, I can't say anything really stands out. Now, let's remember too, Blanco, he's in the minors for a reason, right? He wasn't in their top 5 starters for a reason. So we're not saying he's great. We just think as a pitcher, he has a decent chance to put up a decent number for his salary. He's that cheap for a reason. Like, he's not the greatest pitcher. So, yeah, if anything, I think I would look at some Seattle side of it. But, I don't think there's too much upside. But I wouldn't mind maybe picking a guy or two off that Seattle lineup if you really wanted to go there.
No, yeah, I love that JP Crawford shout. Anyone that's going to be a 2% own, 3% own, like that's how you on a 6-game slate. That's how you get different, and that's how you can get to the top of the leaderboards right there. And Scary Creation dropped in right here. I assume that this is Kevin Ross' weather report, but it sounds like it's getting better than it looked before. So again, monitor weather there, but that would mean Tanner Bibby is the most popular pitcher. I think Bradish would probably be 2 or something like that, but then the Guardians are going to be played for bats as well. So yeah, we talked like that game will play. It's still hours out until lock, so monitor that. But thank you, Scary Creations. Looks like it was better than I initially thought when we came on. Yeah, JP Crawford. The thing is, like, if this game beats me, it beats me. Any of these teams, Blanco's not great. I don't think his leash was very long, though. If he does start getting into trouble, then you're attacking more of a bullpen game. There's so many good hitting spots on this slate. This one's in the dome. Yeah, it's a no for me in this one. But I like that great JP Crawford shout for sure. Lead off. Been swinging a hot stick, and he's going to be very low owned. 2 games left on this slate. The 2 lineups we do not have yet. Hopefully we don't get them unless I just got them when we're on the show. Nope, Mariners in here, nothing else. Rangers we got. So if we don't get these 2 lineups after, maybe it keeps ownership down a little bit. However, I say that yesterday in the Mets didn't get their lineup until like 2 hours after lock, or an hour and a half, and they still were played very heavily. So maybe that's not even true anymore. New York Mets, Arizona Diamondbacks, Carlos Carrasco, Ryan Nelson on the mound. Another 10 total here. I like these D-backs, Gyiraszin. Carlos Carrasco in 2023. That's not it, man. Give me these D-backs against them. The Mets the D-backs absolutely fell apart yesterday. 1-0 in the 9th, 3-2 count, 2 outs. Francisco Alvarez takes one deep. Next thing you know, guy doubles and a triple. Next thing you know, D-backs blow one. I think they bounce back right here. I love picking on Carlos Carrasco right now. And as far as these Mets, I don't know, man. Ryan Nelson, he doesn't strike out anybody. I don't think he's a very good pitcher. I think this is an interesting game stack right here. I definitely prefer the D-back side, though. What about you?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely like the D-backs here. I mean, I guess sitting at a 5.4 team total. I mean, you're sitting there. They're literally sitting there percentage point ahead of the Dodgers, who everybody's going to be on. I mean, Carrasco, he stinks, right? Like, we like going after Carrasco. Even though you look at his game log, his only last couple games, he's only given up a couple runs.
Yeah.
But we're only getting like 5 innings out of him at tops, right? I mean, we're probably going to get 4. And one thing I do like with Arizona, I mean, they're a team that's got a lot. They can do it all, right? Those steel bags, they hit bombs. I mean, there ain't nothing better. Like, Acuna is so good because the dude gets on first. It's 9 points. It's literally 9 damn points. It could be 15 when his ass steals third. Like,
yeah.
And then he scores. It's literally a poor man's home run. He just literally stole himself a home run. It's like, it's great. So, I mean, I like, some of these got McCarthy, over there's a guy I like the roster on with Arizona. Corbin Carroll's fun to roster. I mean, Walker can hit you 2 bombs. I think this is definitely this is actually pretty much, I think, my favorite stack of the day right here is the D-backs. I think that everybody's going to look at the Dodgers, and rightfully so, but I just think that in this spot here against Carrasco, and to me, the Mets seem like a team, man. Like, once they start losing, they get down. It's like they mail it in. Like they just seem, I don't know. Like the team to me, they like give up. It'd be very frustrating for me to be a Mets fan. I don't know if I can handle that crap. Like, I hear a lot of people bitching about them, but yeah, I'd have a hard time, thinking that that bullpen is even engaged half the time. So to me, yeah, I think Arizona's definitely in play. So I definitely like all the bats here in Arizona. I'm not really interested in the Mets as much as you say. I mean, yeah, they got back their stud, which is definitely going to help them out. But yeah, I'm just not all enamored with the Mets. I don't know. I think I'm just going to leave them alone. But I definitely like D-backs for my favorite stack tonight.
Yeah, I'm with you. D-backs are mine as well. I mean, we don't have the order yet, but top the order, of course. Corbin Carroll, 6'2", Ketel Marte, 5'9", Christian Walker, homer yesterday, 5'4". So they're expensive in the middle, but bottom of the order, like Alec Thomas, I hope he's in there with the platoon advantage. Sign me up in the 9-hole. Gabriel Moreno, if he fills out the catcher position for cheap. You mentioned Jake McCarthy. These guys will run. They'll put pressure on you. They do have power. Sign me up for these D-backs. I think you can play them 1 through 9. As far as the Mets, yeah, like they're kind of in the same boat as the Orioles. I don't think many people go to the Mets. Like if Vogelbach's in the lineup too, like you only can pick one of Alonso or Vogelbach. McNeil's in there. Francisco Alvarez, though, at catcher, again, he tied it up yesterday. I think he's interesting. I don't mind it. I think the ownership will be pretty low, relatively speaking, on this slate. Like I'm not playing the Mariners. I'm not playing the Astros. I'm not playing the Royals. So therefore, on a 6-game slate with only so many options talking ownership, I would definitely leave the Mets in there. But sign me up for the D-backs against Carrasco. My favorite stack on the night. We got 1 game left. Before we go into it, though, let's try. How many likes we got right here? 74 likes, 190 watching. Let's try and make a push to 100. We'll get you the dong of the day. Get you our favorite.
Yeah, I told you guys some good stories. You fools better be hitting that like button.
Yeah, exactly. Listen to the man right there. We appreciate that like, that subscribe. And again, if you want to be a member at SHIPITNation.com, $59 a month, $599 a year. Get all the projections for all the sports. Then you get stack rankings, hitter rankings, pitcher rankings, core plays, everything you need to be successful. Best ball, MMA, PGA, as well as the main sports. NFL will be here before we know it. Can't wait there. But hey, there's money to be made in MLB before we talk a little NFL. Last game, Gyiraszin, you talked about the Dodgers taking on the Pittsburgh Pirates. Johan Oviedo, Julio Urias on the mound. Like Pittsburgh, man, I just don't think it's the right slate. I don't love Urias. Pittsburgh did get to him. I wouldn't be completely shocked if 1% Pirates are on the winner. Wouldn't be me, though, if that's the case. Too many other good spots I like more. As far as these Dodgers, though, man, I think this might be the time. However, I think they're going to probably be the second chalkiest team on the slate, something like that. And when there's so many other good spots with similar team totals, my lean is just don't eat the chalk and try and get a little ownership discount. However, man, like Mookie profiles so well. JD's swinging a hot stick. Peralta went deep yesterday. I don't know. You can get to the bottom of the order. It's cheap. The top of the order is expensive. Makes it 5-man stacking viable on this slate, especially pitcher if you don't play an Evaldi or a Kirby. Dodgers got to be in the pool, but how do they rank amongst these other teams we've talked about?
Yeah. I think they're second for me. They actually graded the highest for me today, but I just think because of ownership, that's why I like D-backs. But I mean, go look at this Dodgers lineup. They're stinking Wobas against righties. I mean, Mookie's 391, 380 for Freeman, 378 Will Smith, 364 Muncy, 361 JD, 380 Hayward, 329. I mean, these guys should smash this clown. So, but everybody else knows that too. But I will say one thing. Mookie Betts is on absolute fuego. That dude is hitting at a pace. I mean, that guy, as far as fantasy goes, I mean, that guy's unbelievable what that dude's been doing. I mean, it's unreal. At he's what, 8 for his last 21. He's got 3 homers. The guy steals bags. He's hitting for almost 400, 1.4 some OPS. Mookie is taking over for Shohei as the top hitter in Acuna in the last 2 weeks. Mookie is the man right now. Mookie. He's fun to watch too. Mookie is a very good player. I love watching him. I love rostering him. You just never know what to expect. But I think he is the top bat on the slate by far. He's hot. Oviedo stinks. It all lines up. Mookie by far for me. I think he's going to be the highest owned player on the slate too, by the way, as far as hitting goes. Because you got to think about it. We're paying down for Bradish and some other things. You're going to have money to spend up. Everybody's going to click Mookie first. I can almost guarantee you. So to me, Mookie's a guy I think today you almost got to play. Eat it. Just eat the chalk. Be different elsewhere. Maybe go down a little further in the lineup. Outman just hit 2 homers. The dude didn't hit a homer for a month and a half, and all of a sudden he had 2 homers the other day. So maybe he's got we'll turn it around a little bit. But these Dodgers all up and down. They're all going to be expensive. I think everybody's going to have the money to spend on them because they're going to spend down in pitching today. So Freddie Freeman, I think, is a top bat today. Obviously, Muncy, I think all the way, 1 through 5 is going to be they're all going to be high owned, every one of them. I think JD will probably be the lowest of them, maybe between him and Smith. But yeah, the Dodgers are definitely in the best spot. Hopefully that lineup don't come out for a while, with all the weather and different issues. Maybe people just don't hone in on their team we need to have today. So I'm kind of hoping that the Dodgers lineup just doesn't come out for a while. But this is going to be number 1 chalk title. I think you're going to see high ownership numbers on all of these Dodgers. Like I said, top 5. I bet you they're all 30% or higher.
See, I'm not quite convinced it'll be that bad. Just with so many options, maybe everyone's saying
FanDuel,
that
I think it will be.
FanDuel, yeah, it makes sense.
The higher owned stuff, higher stake stuff that sometimes we'll get into, 100-man tournaments. I think you're going to see the Dodgers in the 30% range.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, if we're talking large field at $15, the 121 on DK or something, I think ownership will be relatively. Yeah, I do think it'll be Cleveland and the Dodgers, the 2 highest owned. But man, you look at these totals, the Rangers have a good total, the D-backs, all of that. I think it's relatively spread out. If you guys love the Dodgers, what I say, play the Dodgers. Think maybe about who you play at pitcher. Think about your secondary stack. But on this slate with ownership, if you have a favorite stack, you think they score the most, I'd say play him today. I wouldn't worry about it as much. But yeah, I think 1 or 2 with the Guardians is how I'm seeing it right now. So rank them. Rank your top 3 stacks today.
I'm going Dodgers, D-backs, Orioles. But I do have interest in that Texas-Boston game. I think that's interesting the more I think about it. But real quick, to go back to that Dodger-Pittsburgh game, just real quick, talk about hot hitters. The hottest hitter in the past week in all of MLB is a guy named Jack Suwinski. 8 for 18, 3 homers, 9 RBIs, 444, and an OPS of 1.60. So that's another guy that you might be able to think about today as a one-off. And actually, I do like him today to throw into that. If you wanted to be a little different with your Dodgers, maybe throw in Suwinski in that game and see what happens. But that guy's been swinging a hot stick too. So
make sure he's in the
I
lineup.
Look at the hot bats title when I'm looking for a one-off, and that's generally the list I pick from. And he is the hottest hitter in all of MLB in the last 7 days.
Yeah, make sure he is in the lineup, though, because it is lefty-lefty. I don't know. He has been so hot, so he might – yeah. But there's times he doesn't crack the lineup due to that. So monitor the lefty. He'll be
another 2%er.
Not even. Lower, 0.08%.
You're probably right. I wouldn't even go there, but you're probably right. But, you're going to get the hottest hitter in the last 7 days. He's going to see some righties eventually. And think of if Urias goes 3 innings.
Yeah.
Now you got the hottest hitter at 1%. And, sign me up.
No, it definitely makes sense. Again, just make sure when that lineup – he doesn't always crack it against a lefty, but with how hot he is, I wouldn't be surprised if he was down there. He's 0.8% or something like that. Gyiraszin, whoever else clicks that button watching this show, but he definitely has been on fire. So what you said, Dodgers – you said D-backs, Dodgers, Orioles. That's what you said?
Yeah.
And I'm D-backs. Yeah, pretty much that's my order. So did you say that same order, or did you say Dodgers, D-backs, Orioles?
Well,
'Cause I
Dodgers
got those
rate out
three
the
too.
highest, but as far as I'm concerned, I would put the D-backs higher just because I think that is a way to beat the Dodgers complete stack. So maybe you can include a Dodger or two, go a little lighter, like a mini stack with Dodgers, and go heavier D-backs. The D-backs score more runs than the Dodgers tonight, obviously, or hit more homers, you're going to ship. And I mean, we already know Carrasco stinks. So
Yeah, no, it's D-backs number one for me, Dodgers two, and then I look at the Orioles and the Mets pretty much in the same category. I'll lean Orioles with Yankee Stadium. Balls will be flying, warm weather there, weather in the dome in Arizona. But I look at those two teams very similar there. So lockstep with Gyiraszin, you do love to see that. Gyiraszin, let's get a little dong of the day, and then we'll talk lowish owned pitcher. Get on out of here. I'll start with myself. Got to go to the D-backs. I'm going right in the heart of the order. Man's been swinging a hot stick. Christian Walker, back-to-back games with the homer. Think he makes it 3 right here. I'm picking on Carlos Carrasco today. Christian Walker's seeing the ball well. He takes one deep. And I don't think ownership, I mean, he'll, of course, he'll have some, but Freddie Freeman's right in that range as well. A lot of first basemen. If you want to save salary, there's salary saving. People go Naylor and stuff. So I think Walker comes in a little under-owned. I love him in my D-back stacks. What you got, Gyiraszin?
yeah, I can't just be easy and say Mookie because that'd be too easy. I mean, Mookie is my favorite play by far today. I mean, that's the first guy I'm clicking on for sure. But yeah, you know what? I'm gonna go with Crawford, who I mentioned a little earlier. I think that's a guy that I mean, he's swinging a hot bat. I like the spot he's in. Nobody's gonna play him. I think that's the guy I'm gonna go for. Now, that's just one of my favorite plays today as a one-off. And as I mentioned, I like Sawinski, but as Title mentioned, let's make sure he's in the lineup. But I definitely like that possibility that we could get Urias out of there fairly quickly. So I'm going to say a combination between Sawinski and Crawford are two guys I like, but I'm just going to say to be careful there because obviously we're not sure about that lineup yet. But I think that's definitely Sawinski's an interesting spot here that nobody's going to play tonight.
Absolutely. We got just little low-ish owned pitcher, then we'll get on out of here. But again, if you want all Gyirazin's core plays on FanDuel, Hamwich, Hoops got his slate playing up, Nades, my cash stuff, projections, hitter rankings, stack rankings, all of that good stuff. You got to head over to SHIPITNation.com. $59 a month, $599 a year. Won't find a better price than that. And again, if you do join, make sure you get in the Discord as well. We're talking low-ish owned pitcher. I'm going to give one that might even be in the single digits. I'm going to go to Ronel Blanco. I think Cutter Crawford will get more ownership in that range. Severino will get more ownership in that range. Bradish definitely will get more ownership. And yeah, if this Bibby game's good too, I don't think anyone really gets to Blanco. Give me 14, give me 15. I'm not scared of this Mariners team. Got some pop. Do have strikeouts in there as well, though. 5-6 innings, 5 Ks, has a solid K prop. I'll live with that on this slate. So at sub 10%, something like that on this slate, I can't pass that up. What are your thoughts, Gyiraszin?
I agree, especially for DK. I mean, Blanco is a guy that would be
not FanDuel. Yeah, not FanDuel.
Yeah, not FanDuel. Sure. But Blanco's definitely a guy who's interesting on DK because you mentioned. I mean, he's got potential to go 5 innings for us. He could get us some Ks. I don't mind that at all. I think that's definitely interesting, especially with the SP2. It's going to give you a little extra salary for Mookie. But yeah, I think he'd be the guy. And you know, I was looking while you were talking, thinking, well, I don't want to say the same guy Title does, but I don't want to bullshit you and tell you some other guy I like because there really isn't any other guys I like. Yeah. I mean, as I said, I like Bradish. He's my favorite Kirby, but I do like the fact Blanco's going up against a top-level pitcher. Which I like two guys going head-to-head because it just brings out the best. You generally see the B pitcher in the matchup generally rises up to the occasion. So he knows Kirby's their ace, so we'll see what happens. But I don't mind him. The more we talk about it, I think the more I like him. Maybe I'll throw in a DK lineup over there and see what I can muster up over there. See how many D-backs and maybe throw in some Crawford in there and maybe
Bradish, Blanco, Dodgers, D-backs. There you go, Gyiraszin. You get the cheap pitching, you spend it up at all your bats, you ship the Q over there on DK tonight. But yeah, getting the call up from the minors, got some little added motivation. 5-6 innings on this pitcher slate. I'm not going to say no. Awesome stuff, Gyiraszin. Always a good time doing shows with you. Everyone here appreciates it. Hit that thumbs up for Gyiraszin stories in the beginning for the winners as well. Get in the Discord at SHIPIT Nation. Any questions you guys got, you can tag us as always. PGA Showdown also coming up on this site as well. And of course, this show was sponsored by Drafters. Head over to drafters.com. SHIPIT is the promo code, $20 to $100. They will match you 100%. Awesome best ball contest over there. We'll roll out content. There you go. They'll give you that Chris Hundo Benjamin right there if you use that promo code. Gyiraszin, always a pleasure. Always good stuff. Good luck tonight. Take out that cue. Good luck to everybody out there. For Gyiraszin, I'm Titletown. Good luck, everybody.